Welcome to the Explainer. All right, today we're going to dive into the absolutely massive and surprisingly scientific world of pig farming. We're going to look at the scale, the strategy, and yeah, the high stakes of an industry that's really a cornerstone of the Philippine economy. And it's all based on materials from Mariano Marcos State University. So, where does the story of the Philippines swine industry even begin? Well, it starts with this number, over 100 million. That is a huge domestic market, a whole nation of food lovers whose appetite basically drives an entire agricultural sector. And for all those millions of people, pork isn't just, another option on the menu. It's a staple. This quote really nails it. It captures its role perfectly as that affordable middle ground, sitting right there between the beef that's always pricey and the chicken that's only sometimes cheap. Okay, so let's really get into the weeds here. Just how massive is this industry? To get the full picture, you gotta look at the numbers. And you also have to understand the major challenges that come with trying to operate on such a huge scale.
I mean, the scale is just staggering. As of early 2019, we're talking about a national herd almost 13 million strong. Just let that sink in for a second. That's not just a lot of food. It's a massive biological and economic engine helping to power the country.
And here's the thing, that demand, it never, ever stops. With the population growing by thousands every single day, the pressure to keep producing is just relentless. The entire industry has to run at full speed just to keep up.
But, an industry this massive, it faces an equally massive threat, African swine fever, or ASF. This thing is a devastatingly effective virus. It's super contagious, it's almost always fatal for pigs, and it's a constant danger that can wipe out entire farms and make pork prices shoot through the roof seemingly overnight.
So where do all these pigs actually come from? When you picture an industry this big, you probably imagine these giant corporate megafarms, right? Well, the reality on the ground, it's actually pretty different.
Just take a look at this breakdown. It's kind of wild. The vast majority, a whopping 63%, come from these small-scale backyard farms. These aren't huge operations, but they are, without a doubt, the backbone of the entire national supply. And this structure, you see, is both the industry's greatest strength and its biggest weakness. On one hand, it provides a vital livelihood for countless families in rural areas. But on the other, it means diseases like ASF can spread like wildfire because, more basic housing and less strict biosecurity can make these small farms especially vulnerable. All right, so if you're one of these farmers, how do you even get ahead? It's not just about, tossing out some feed and hoping for the best. Success actually starts with the deliberate science of building a better herd. And that means making really smart choices about your animals. At its core, it really boils down to two key strategies. First up is selection. That's basically picking your star players, the animals with the best traits, like growing fast or being great mothers. And then there's culling, which is removing the less productive animals. It's this constant cycle, this feedback loop, all designed to improve the genetic quality of the whole herd over time. To see just how incredibly specific this science of selection can get, let's look at a really cool case study. So say hello to the Hereford pig. Now, this breed, it didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's the perfect example of humans guiding the process, crossing several breeds to get a very, very precise result. And this is what I mean by a blueprint. To even get the official stamp of approval as a purebred Hereford, a pig has to meet these super precise visual standards. We're talking a white face and ears, at least 2 white feet, and a body that's at least 2/3 red. It's incredibly specific. But here's the thing. While purebreds are super important, for most modern commercial farms, the real secret sauce, the real key to success, isn't just about perfecting one breed. The real magic and the real profit comes from what happens when you strategically cross them. And that leads us to this really powerful biological phenomenon called heterosis, or to put it more simply, hybrid vigor. It's this wild idea that the offspring can actually be better than the sum of its parents' parts. Okay, here's a classic example for you. Let's say you take a purebred Yorkshire and you cross it with a purebred Duroc. Now, both of those are great breeds on their own, right? But their crossbred offspring often shows superior traits. They can grow faster, be more resilient to disease. It's a true best of both worlds situation. So the big takeaway here is that this isn't just some interesting science trivia. It's a huge economic tool. I mean, think about it from a farm's perspective. Faster growth means less time to get to market, and that means less feed, lower costs, and bigger profits.
Of course, to unlock all that genetic potential, you need everything else to be just right. Super specific feed formulations for every stage of growth, and well-designed housing that keeps the animals healthy and stress-free.
And all of this really leaves us with a big final question. In a world that's facing more and more challenges to our food supply, from new diseases to a climate that's changing fast, how much are we going to depend on genetic science? Is the future of our food found not just in the soil, but in a better biological blueprint?